I'm going to show you guys my favorite mean reversion strategy that helped save my day with a $7,000 profit. Now, I'm going to be looking at both the S&P and the NASDAQ futures here in front of us, and we're going to be only using these charts, right? Nothing else. This is the only order flow piece of information that I need to identify this kind of reversal in a massive trend move. And it revolves around delta, the delta profile. If you'll notice first on the S&P, the bottom chart, when I start to see the accumulation of heavy negative delta like this, you can see this clustering, massive clustering of negative delta over here. I can anticipate that, you know what, things are actually rolling over. What this suggests is that there's actually less passive buying and more aggressive selling that's holding out. Now, did I jump the gun? For sure. How could I have played this better? When I see this massive construct of negative delta, I want to see the most recent figures of that negative delta actually get broken under, so that I can actually get into that with a higher probability that I'm on the right side. Now on the NASDAQ, it's a very similar situation. Jumping the gun just a bit, you can see where the negative delta shapes up close to 730, but the 745 area is where I actually started taking this position. So again, if I waited enough for them to actually break that negative delta barrier that was created at the top for the first time all day with stagnation from the buyers, then I'd have a higher probability trade. Now, I can add a little more order flow to this. We can throw in the footprint to give us a better idea of what's actually happening in real time at that point. So in these huge trend days, what you generally see is all of this passive buying that comes in the form of negative delta on the footprint. So they're holding support in a stepladder fashion. The key is they also create that negative delta cluster that you saw on the profile. Once you actually break under these, then you can sell the rally back into it, which happens in this sequence. So I was jumping the gun a little earlier here on the NASDAQ, and on the S&P the same thing. This block that I have sectioned off is where all this negative delta support lies. Once you break that, that's actually the reversion that's expected to happen that actually holds down that downside. So instead of trying to constantly fade these monstrous trend day moves to the upside, and you're looking for something to actually turn around because you're not long, well, number one, you can not trade. Number two, you can wait for a setup that looks exactly like this, where the creation of those clusters of negative delta actually break below, and on the footprint, those supports of negative delta actually crack below. So this trade saved my day, and if you want to learn more about trade setups like this, you can get our free PDF that discusses my system and strategy down below in the description.